Imagine hitting the kill switch on your entire life. Deep out in the brutal African savannah, there's a totally different world where tomorrow is never guaranteed. Zero electricity, zero Wi-Fi, no packed calendars stressing you out for the next day. When every single modern comfort you rely on is stripped away, what actually keeps your heart beating? Surviving as a Hadza is no joke. Every single sunrise is a fresh, ruthless test, demanding you sync up perfectly with a harsh and unforgiving landscape. It blows my mind that these guys are still out there right now, breathing life into a totally prehistoric way of existing. And when you track alongside them, it hits you fast. Mother Nature doesn't need to roar to chill you straight to the bone. These raw survival tactics aren't just buried in the history books. They're the primal instincts that our cushy, modern civilization has completely wiped from our memory. Trapped in the corporate office, take cover. Because the wildest part of being out here isn't even the actual chase. Way before they ever lock onto a target, these guys have to read the invisible signs. They have to know exactly who is out there tracking them. Lurking in that dead silent brush are unseen eyes. They don't need to step into the light to make a statement. Yet their mere presence shifts the entire heartbeat of the hunting party. Out on these plains, a lethal threat doesn't announce itself. It sneaks up like a shadow. And that's exactly when a hyena decides to crash the party. Hyenas are pure, ruthless opportunists, absolute masters at waiting for you to make one fatal mistake. For the Hadza, picking a fight with them is a losing game. The golden rule? Hold your absolute ground. You don't chase, you don't provoke, and you sure as hell don't blink. Especially when the air is thick with the scent of fresh meat. The scavenger might back off a few paces, but it never really leaves the area. It just melts back into the tall grass, leaving behind this suffocating, heavy tension. Nobody runs after it. Nobody even whispers. They just keep pushing forward, totally locked in on the mission they mapped out at dawn. Stay focused. They aren't changing their target, just shifting gears. They close ranks, go dead silent, and march straight into the strike zone. Their mark is a tough one today. The baboon. Whip smart, lightning fast, and absolutely vicious if you ever back it into a corner. So you can't just outrun this thing. You have to outsmart it. You have to be 2 steps ahead of its very instincts. The second the troop rolls into view, the hunters lock down tight. The bowstring snaps. Just minutes later, it's game over. Clean, calculated, and totally contained. Let's move out. With the Hadza, the tribe is everything. You move as one unit, you hunt as one unit, you survive as one unit. Lock it in. We're blood out here. They haul the catch straight back to base camp. No fancy butcher gear here, just basic blades to prep the meat, dealing out absolutely equal cuts to every single person. There's no big ceremonial show about it, either. That hardcore loyalty is just baked into their DNA from thousands of years of habit. In this camp, nobody hoards a meal for themselves. You share or you die, and every last soul pulls their own weight to keep the whole machine running smoothly. It doesn't feel like some big Hollywood victory either. It's just this ancient, steady pulse where mankind, the wild, and the entire tribe lock into a balance that's incredibly fragile, yet tough as nails. Wash the dirt off. You know it. Out here, you aren't measuring success by the rat race or the junk you buy. It's all about staying perfectly tuned to your people and the dirt beneath your boots. If you got dropped out here for 24 hours, what's the one primitive skill you desperately want to have in your back pocket? Smash that like button and drop your answer down in the comments. I got this. My people. 47. 零小时零9分44秒。480. 大于0小时0 9分52秒。720. Sunrise doesn't need an alarm clock. Just the morning breeze and the heavy scent of campfire smoke rolling through the Hadza Valley up in northern Tanzania. These guys are up way before the sun even cracks the horizon, ready to conquer the wild all over again. Zero plans, zero schedules, just pure instinct and muscle memory wired straight into the earth. The African bush does not just hand over its secrets to anyone. You have to know how to truly tune in and listen. Their bowstrings are tightly woven from animal sinew. They pack these tiny arrows tipped with a deadly plant extract. It is not about a quick kill, it is a slow, calculated burn to drain the animal's strength. There is absolutely no showing off out here, and nobody wastes their breath talking. Are you kidding me? One of the hunters grabs a bow worn black from decades of sweat and survival, and just like that, the trek begins. They are out for blood, but only snagging enough small game to get through today. Out here, hoarding does not exist. It is all about stepping up when it is your fore. Target spotted. Pivot. And boom. Just like that. The arrow snaps right off the string. You barely hear it hit just a whisper, like a single leaf hitting the dirt. Then, the hunter scoops up the prize with both hands. He takes a beat, a silent nod of respect to the animal. Energy just traded hands. Nothing wasted, nothing greedy. Over there now! Let us keep moving. Get up here. Quick! Massive craters in the dirt, snapped tree limbs, and that heavy stench of ripped up soil. To them, an elephant is way more than just wildlife. It is the living, breathing soul of the savannah. If they cross paths with one, they pivot. It is not about being scared. It is about pure respect and knowing exactly where they stand in the pecking order. If you wanted to put this into modern terms, you would call it the ultimate organic algorithm. An absolute masterclass in survival, hardwired through generations of roaming, remembering, and adapting to the wild. Look at the mighty baobab tree, standing like a giant ancient monument. That massive, bloated trunk is literally a vault for water and centuries of history. These Hadza hunters scale it like it is absolutely nothing. Forget safety harnesses or fancy rock climbing gear. They use bare hands, raw grip strength, and total faith in a landscape they have known since birth. Buried deep inside that wood is the jackpot, a wild beehive. The honey oozes out, thick, hot, and golden. Nobody panics. Nobody gets greedy. Yeah, the bees are swarming and stinging. But a little smoke pushes them back. It is a pain they are totally used to, a small price to pay for that massive sugar rush they need to survive the brutal day. No fancy stoves here, just raw fire. They toss the fresh meat right onto the screaming hot coals. It is just them, their raging appetites, and the crackle of the flames. They rip into it barehanded, splitting everything right down the middle. Nobody is hoarding the prime cuts for themselves, and no one dives in before the rest. Out in the bush, food is not something you own. It is the ultimate team-building exercise. Plain and simple, eating together so they can survive together. Meanwhile, you are standing there with a $1,000 smartphone that cannot even catch a bar of service.
It smells wonderful, just like mother used to
You might be
make.
book smart, but your survival instincts are dead. You could have a college degree, but out here, you do not know the first thing about the wild. Day 1 wraps up, then day 2 hits, and suddenly my brain is scrambling. How do I find water? What is that breeze trying to tell me? Why did that flock just bolt toward the horizon? The crazy part, the Hadza do not look at this as some hardcore survival challenge. To them, it is just waking up and living. The savannah is not out to get them. The wild completely embraces them. Simply because they never tried to conquer it, they just became a part of it.